If you are an international school student aiming for elite boarding schools or top university track, the upper level SSAT is your single most important hurdle. Admissions committees at competitive schools use this exam as a global benchmark to judge your academic stamina against top applicants worldwide. While the test contains a math section, today we are breaking down the critical English components: verbal, reading, comprehension, and the writing sample. Standard school classes do not prepare you for this test. The question types are completely unique. The pacing is brutal, and a single wrong answer will penalize your score. Let's look at exactly what is being tested and how AMC Study helps you succeed. The verbal section. The verbal section is one of the most difficult parts of the SSAT because it is not just asking, do you know this word? It is asking, do you know this word precisely? Do you understand its tone? Can you recognize a close synonym? Can you identify a logical relationship between difficult words? Many students believe vocab study means memorizing a simple definition. But on the SSAT, that is usually not enough. The answer choices often include words with similar tones, partially related meanings, or tempting traps. Let's try this synonym question. What is closest in meaning to inimical? Pause the video here and try to solve the question yourself. The correct answer is A, hostile. Inimical means hostile, harmful, or opposed to something. Now you might think, okay, I know what inimical means, so I'm done. Not quite. Because on the SSAT, knowing the definition of a difficult word is only the first step. The verbal section also tests analogies. Here, you need to understand not only what a word means, but also the relationship between words. So let's use the same word again. Pause the video here and try to solve it. The correct answer is A, benevolent, kind. Why? Because inimical and hostile are synonyms. In the same way, benevolent and kind are synonyms. Notice what just happened. In the first question, you had to know the meaning of inimical. In the second question, you had to recognize the relationship between inimical and hostile. And then find another pair that follows exactly the same logic. The relationship can become much more specific. Let's try another one. Pause the video here and try to identify the relationship. The correct answer is A, coda, symphony. An epilogue is the concluding section of a novel, just as a coda is the concluding section of a musical composition. So this is not simply part to whole. It is more precise, a concluding part to the work it concludes. That precision is what makes upper-level SSAT analysis difficult. Let's try a different type. Pause the video and try to solve it. The correct answer is A, seismograph, earthquake. A barometer measures atmospheric pressure, while a seismograph detects and records seismic activity. Notice that several choices are related, but related is not enough. The relationship has to match. Let's make it more abstract. Pause here. Uneasy and petrified express different degrees of fear or anxiety. In the same way, pleased and ecstatic express different degrees of positive emotion. This is a degree of intensity relationship. And here is the important point. You can know the definitions of every word in this question and still get it wrong. Vocabulary gets you into the question. Verbal reasoning gets you to the answer. Let's look at one final type. Pause the video here and try to solve it. A sonnet is a specific type of poem, just as a minuet is a specific type of dance. So even within analogies, you could be dealing with very different relationships. And you have to recognize them quickly, because there is another major challenge: time. Across the verbal section, you are working at roughly 30 seconds per question. In that time, you need to understand the vocabulary, identify the relationship, evaluate the answer choices, eliminate the traps, and make a decision. If you spend 2 or 3 minutes stuck on one difficult question, you're taking time away from every question that comes after it. So, vocabulary alone is not enough. You need a system, and that is where AMC Study comes in. At AMC Study, we don't teach vocabulary as thousands of isolated definitions. We teach students to build connections around each word. Let's go back to the word we started with, inimical. First, students learn its precise meaning. Then we connect it to synonyms and antonyms. Then, we look at how the word is actually used. For example, these conditions are inimical to growth. Instead of memorizing one definition, students begin to see vocabulary as a connected network. And then, we apply that vocabulary to verbal reasoning. For analogy questions, we teach students not to immediately jump into the answer choices. First, define the relationship. An epilogue is the concluding part of a novel. Now, you have a role. Then ask which answer follows exactly the same role. A coda is the concluding part of a musical composition. That works. A stanza is a part of a poem, but it is not necessarily the concluding part. That doesn't work. This gives students a repeatable process instead of relying on which answer simply feels right. And once students develop accuracy, we add speed. We gradually introduce timed practice so that the correct reasoning process becomes faster and more automatic. The goal is not to simply to rush. The goal is to think correctly and faster. Students learn to recognize relationships quickly, eliminate distractors efficiently, and know when it is time to move on. Vocabulary, reasoning, speed. Those are the 3 skills we develop at AMC Study for upper-level SSAT verbal. Because strong SSAT preparation is not about memorizing the longest vocabulary list possible. It is about knowing words deeply, recognizing relationships accurately, and applying those skills efficiently when the clock is running. And that wraps up our look at the upper-level SSAT verbal section. If you're preparing for the upper-level SSAT and want a more structured and strategic approach, learn more about our SSAT preparation programs at AMC Study. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our reading comprehension video. If this video was helpful, give it a like and share with another student or parent preparing for the SSAT. For more information about our SSAT programs and how AMC Study can help you prepare, visit AMC Study and learn more. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you for listening.